EPA announced today they're going to start, carbon dioxide, bad. We got to regulate it now. It's a job killer. David Kreutzer is here, Senior Policy Analyst, Energy Economics and Climate Change at the Heritage Foundation. David, first of all, biggest CO2 emitter that would be affected by this will be coal plants, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, all right. How much energy do we get from coal plants? Percentage?
We get half of our electricity from coal.
So you know, if I may quote the president, our electricity rates will necessarily skyrocket.
I think that's a good quote, and one time he was accurate.
Okay. Let me show the American people this. Loss of GDP due to regulation of CO2. This is, you see, there's 2010 there. We lose about 100,000 to GDP. I mean, 100 million to GDP. Right?
100 billion. 100 billion.
100 billion.
Billion, yes.
Then we have down here at the bottom about, what, $610 billion by 2029.
Yes.
I've been looking at the deficit. I don't know how we do that to ourselves. Then let me show you the potential job loss under the Clean Air. We lose, is it only 200,000 jobs in 2010?
Well, you know, it's actually probably going to be worse than that. We did that study when they first came out with their proposal to regulate under the Clean Air Act, and the targets they were looking for were somewhat milder than the targets they're aiming for now. Those numbers are too low. They should be greater losses.
So if you look at this, you see job losses. These are all in the negative. The bottom lines here are 805,000. Yes. I mean, there's no way to survive here. Am I wrong in thinking this is the United States government nudging us into a cap and trade, saying, boy, cocking the trigger and saying, you don't want us to regulate this, you really want cap and trade? I mean, we have nowhere to go here, right?
Yes, and it's a disingenuous sort of nudge. I call it, you're nudging with a bulldozer, by the way. But the EPA, I mean, the Clean Air Act was a law written by Congress. If Congress doesn't want carbon dioxide to be regulated under the Clean Air Act, a one-sentence bill will fix that. This is political theater. They're trying to pretend like there's this gun. They're holding the gun against their own head.
David.
But yeah.
We have Cass Sunstein, who I think is an extraordinarily dangerous man, because he has access to. You don't have to pass any. He's doing it now. You don't have to pass anything. Right. You don't have to do anything. He has control of all the regulations. And he's an extremist. I mean, if you read his writings, the man is an extremist. He talks about redistribution of wealth, et cetera, et cetera. In your wildest dreams, why would you do this? Is there any way for the country to economically survive this move today if they enact it?
It's not going to be good. You know, we're clever people. We'll survive something. But it will have all costs, very little benefits. There will be intrusive government regulation. The EPA laid their cards out about a year and a half ago with a document about this thick showing all of the things they're going to regulate if they're given the authority, if we have the endangerment finding that they released today. They're going to regulate, of course, the efficiency of appliances. They've been doing that. Increase the MPG requirements for cars, but it goes beyond that. They're going to regulate the design of aircraft for fuel mileage, not for safety. They're going to regulate the paint that they put on tankers, how fast cars can go, how fast trains can go. There were 600 and some pages of ideas of how they're going to intrude in your life.
Well, that shouldn't hurt Boeing. That shouldn't hurt Boeing at all. It shouldn't hurt any industry here in America and make us less competitive and just shift our wealth over to another country. I mean, that's what this. Look, I mean, you know, I know you say, you know, we can, you know, we'll survive this, we'll survive. The load that these people are putting on this table, this economy has taken blow after blow after blow from just regular things, from sheer stupidity from a lot of people, from out-and-out corruption and game playing like this is. How many more blows can this economy take?
I wonder. It's like they have the intent to destroy all the sectors of the economy in 1 year, whether it's healthcare, financial regulation, you know, energy, which is just about everything. You know, they want more government, the thing that's causing the problems. Okay. Higher costs, lower incomes. That's what we'll get.
Thank you very much, David. I appreciate it. Yeah. I just have to ask you, America, come up with an exit strategy for when all these things hit and your life stinks on ice. How do these people think they're going to stay in office? How do they do it? I can't think. You're against it now. How do they stay in office? You might want to noodle that one. If you have an answer, come back to me. We'll be back in just a second.